So as you start planning through that process, walk us through some of the bigger pieces. You don't have to go into great detail, but just some of the bigger pieces, because I believe that there's a lot of, and we talked before we started recording, there's a lot of ladies that are out there that have some amazing talents or great ideas that they are confident they could push forward into a business, but they don't take that first step because of just, I don't know if I'm good enough to make it happen. I don't know if people will buy into what I'm trying to make happen. I know you did this with your husband. I mean, he is a co-owner of this business, but you are the face that everybody sees when it comes to this business. Tell me some of the steps that you guys took to get this business up off the ground.
Ooh, let's see. Well, the first step is, looking at what you think your costs are going to be for operating the business and looking at the cost of the lease for where you're renting from and seeing, how much of this lease is going to cut into my total revenue, because you don't want a lease that's going to be too much.
Right.
And then the startup costs. I'm using a business credit card, Chase Business Inc., a little shout out. And so that's balancing some of my startup costs for like the CrossFit rig or equipment. Like I wanted to get a really nice PT table so that I'm not leaning over patients breaking my back all day.
Right.
And so just factoring in some of those things is a great place to start on paper. And then once you feel like your idea on paper is good, take a proof of concept of, can you start this business in a subletting from someone else? Or like if you're looking to open a bakery, just start selling to friends and just see how much it grows from there. And then if it's growing good, then go all in.
Go all in.
Yeah.
What scared you the most about starting this up? Was there anything? Was there anything that you had to say, this could have been a stumbling block for me if I allowed it to happen?
I think just leaving the security of not having to think about anything other than showing up at work and treating patients to now I have to handle all aspects of the business. And when am I going to do that? So I finally figured out when I put my daughter to bed at night, that's my time to catch up on documentation or billing or things like that. And I try and do social media posts whenever she's napping. And so, the biggest thing was leaving the security.
How did you get over that hump of believing in yourself enough to leave that security behind? Because that's big for many people. I see people all the time that they have something really great and they're doing it part-time. And I know that if they would just pull the trigger to step out on, whether it be on faith or believing in themselves, whatever it is, just be able to step out and go all in on it, they could make it if they want it. What do you think? What would you say to that person that is at that point that it's like, yeah, but what do you say to that person?
Trust God.
Trust God.
Yes. I mean, I think I was lucky from a very young age to have an aspiration when I was in that allied health program. I want to go to PT school, and then I got into PT school, and then I had this dream of moving to the beach and living the beach life, and then I made that happen. And so the more I bet on myself and saw that, if I set my mind to it, then there's a good chance it's going to happen, the more I realize I can do things. And then, you add in the faith that God's going to carry you. That doesn't take away responsibility of thinking through things,
Sure.
But
you still have to do your part.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you just take that step, and even if you fail, start small so that your failures are small, and don't get upset by the fail, but think, what could I have done differently that would make this work better? Because I've made those mistakes as a physical therapy owner, and I've learned, and it's natural growing pains.
Yeah, I don't know who to attribute it to, but I've heard it said many times that if you're going to fail, you need to fail forward.
Yes.
You need to learn from that mistake. And some of the best education that you're going to ever get is going to be from your failures and you taking the time to learn how it happened and what you can do to prevent it from happening in the future. What are